At 30 meters down, something shifts. Not fear, the opposite. A warmth moving up from your chest, a quiet sense that everything is fine, better than fine. That feeling is the first symptom of the thing that kills you. 30 meters is 10 stories of water standing on top of you, pressing at 4 times the weight of the air you were born in. Your gauge reads normal, your air is good, your hands still work, and your brain has already started to lie. They found him with a full tank, weight belt on, regulator out of his mouth, resting on his chest. The report said one word: drowning. He had air, minutes of it. Here's what stops me. A trained man, breathing gas he never touched, decided somewhere down there that he no longer needed to breathe. The ocean didn't take him. It convinced him. It convinced a man who knew better than almost anyone alive. His name was Maurice Fargues. September 1947, off Toulon, on the French Navy's diving team. A year earlier, he had hauled Jacques Cousteau and his partner out of a flooded cave, dead weight on the end of a rope, and brought them back to the surface breathing. He was the one you wanted holding the line. That day, the line was holding him. The method was simple. An anchor cable running straight down into the dark, marker slates wired to it every 10 meters. Fargues descended, and at each slate he stopped, pulled a pencil, and signed his name. Proof of depth. And every few seconds, he tugged a safety rope tied to his waist. One pull, meaning alive, alive, alive. The signatures marched down the cable. 40 meters, 60, 90, the depth where a diver on compressed air starts to come apart at the seams. He kept signing. At 3 minutes, the tugging stopped. Up top, they waited. Then they hauled. When another diver met him coming up, Fargues hung slack in the water, weight belt still on, regulator drifting loose against his chest. Full tank. He was the first human being ever to die on an aqualung. What stops me is the last slate. 120 meters down, 12 atmospheres crushing in, and there in the beam is his signature. Legible. Steady. The last thing he did with a working mind before the mind went. His team measured it later and drew a line no one was allowed past. 90 meters. Below that, on air, you are somewhere your brain cannot follow you. They gave the thing a name, and the name told you it was never the water you should have feared. They called it the rapture of the deep. And the enemy in that name is not the sea, it is the air in your own tank. Ordinary air. The same nitrogen you have breathed every second of your life, doing nothing, going in and out untouched. At the surface, it is inert, a passenger. Push it under pressure and the passenger wakes up. Every 10 meters you drop, the water piles on another atmosphere of weight, and that pressure forces more nitrogen into your blood, into your tissues, into the fat. Your brain is mostly fat. The nitrogen dissolves straight into the membranes of your nerve cells and sits there, gumming the signals that jump from one cell to the next. Thought slows. The wiring goes soft. Divers have a name for the dosage, the martini rule. Every 10 meters below 20 hits you like another drink swallowed on an empty stomach. So do the arithmetic on yourself. 30 meters, 1 drink, 40, 2. At 60 meters, you are functionally 4 martinis deep, alone, in the cold, in the black. And every task that keeps you alive now runs through a brain that is quietly getting drunk. What stops me is how little we actually know about it. A French physiologist named Bert wrote the effect down in 1878. Gaslight and horse-drawn carriages. And the best explanation science has, the Meyer-Overton idea, only says the nitrogen dissolves in fat and something goes wrong. The exact mechanism, the precise reason a working mind switches off, is still not fully solved. 150 years and no one has closed the hole. We know the wall is there. We have never seen the bricks. So let's walk you into it. Down the line into the first floor of the wall, 30 meters. The light has gone flat and blue, the surface is a distant coin above your head, and you feel good. Loose. Warm. The nervousness you carried down is melted off, and in its place is a clean, easy confidence that you were built for this. Every part of that feeling is the poison working. Your reactions are already slowing. Ask you to check a gauge, run a simple sum on your air and your time, and the answer comes late, or comes wrong. Divers at this depth have done the math on their own survival and gotten it backwards. and felt certain the whole time. Here's the trap you are standing in. The nitrogen dulls your judgment first. The one tool that could tell you something is wrong is the exact tool it disables. So you decide you feel better than you ever have, sharper, in control, and that decision is the symptom. There is no alarm, no pain, no moment where a voice says you are impaired, because the part of you that raises the alarm has already been switched off. You reach 40 meters, 3 drinks in now, and you are having the time of your life. What stops me is that this is the friendliest the ocean will ever be to you. No struggle, no warning shot. It hands you comfort and confidence at the precise depth where both will get you killed, and you thank it. A drunk man knows he's drunk. Down here you don't. The good feeling holds. Then, past 50 meters, it stops being friendly. Past 50 meters, the warmth curdles. What was comfort turns into something with teeth. Your vision narrows first. The blue edges of the world pull in until you are looking down a tunnel. And whatever sits at the end of that tunnel becomes your entire universe. A gauge, a crack in the rock, one thought looping, and you cannot pull your mind off it to save your life. Then the water starts adding things that were never there. Divers at this depth report sounds with no source, shapes moving at the edge of the tunnel, a certainty that someone else is down there with them. Some are gripped by a laughter they cannot stop, giggling into a rubber mouthpiece 60 meters under. Others drop, with no warning, straight into raw terror. And your clock is gone. Time has come unhooked. A diver convinced he has spent 30 seconds at depth has burned 5 minutes of air and will surface to find the number impossible. Here is the setup, and here is the threat. You are 7 martinis deep now, hallucinating, fixated, alone in the cold, and this is the depth where they start doing it, taking the regulator out of their own mouths. Ask deep divers and they'll tell you the old stories. Men who pulled the mouthpiece out and calmly held it toward a passing fish, wanting to share the air. The one thing keeping them alive, offered away, underwater, with a clear and friendly mind. What stops me is that this is not panic. Panic fights. This is a man making a decision and being pleased with it. 60 meters, 70. The mind is still switching off floor by floor. And below this, it stops making decisions at all. It stops making decisions, and then it stops making sense of anything at all. 70 meters. The tunnel vision and the hallucinations give way to something heavier, a stupor. Your thoughts stop moving. You go to do a simple thing you have done 10,000 times, and the instruction leaves your head before your hands can answer it. Memory won't hold. Seconds fall out of you and don't come back. And the water takes your compass. Down here there is no gravity you can feel, no floor, no sky, just black in every direction. A diver in this state can lose which way is up. Bubbles rise, that's the only clue left. And a mind this slow cannot always read it. Men have swum down hard, believing they were racing for the surface. 90 meters, 10 atmospheres, the full weight of a small car pressing on every hand-sized patch of you. For most divers, on air, this is the floor. Hallucinations, memory gone, a black curtain drawing in at the edges, and then the lights go out. Unconsciousness, at the bottom of the sea, with the regulator still in. What stops me is a single administrative fact. So many people died chasing the deep air record past 120 meters that Guinness quietly stopped keeping it. They will log the fastest, the oldest, the strangest things a human body can do. They will not print this one anymore. They took the record off the books to stop people dying for a line in it. A number so lethal, the record keepers refused to hold it. And still, that was never the worst thing waiting down there. The worst thing waiting down there doesn't hurt. That's what makes it the worst. Picture what you expected drowning to be. Clawing for the surface, chest burning, the animal fight for one more breath, everything in you screaming to live. The rapture takes all of that away. There is no burning because you have air. There is no fight because the part of you that fights has been switched off, floor by floor on the way down. What's left is calm, a soft spreading certainty that everything is fine, that you are exactly where you should be, that the effort of breathing is the thing you can set down now. It doesn't feel like dying. It feels like permission. So the men who take the regulator out are not choosing to die. They have simply stopped believing they need it. The ocean did not fill their lungs by force. It walked them, calmly, to a decision and let them make it. This is the whole horror of the thing, folded into one word. Not drowned, convinced. And here is what will not leave me. They found Maurice Fargues with his mouthpiece drifting loose against his chest. Not lost, not torn away by the sea. His tank was not empty. He had air left to breathe, and somewhere in the dark, he came to the quiet, reasonable decision that he was finished with it. The best diver they had. A man who had pulled others back from exactly this. And it still leaned in close and told him he could stop. He believed it. That's the part no mechanism on any chart explains. No chart explains it, and no chart can tell you where your own wall stands. That's the last cruelty. The depth is not fixed. One diver stays clear-headed to 60 meters. Another goes soft at 30, in the same water, on the same day. There is no line painted on the sea that says, past here, you stop being yourself. And your own wall moves. Where it stood yesterday is not where it stands today. Cold drags it up toward you. So does hard work. So does fear. So does the carbon dioxide building in your blood when you're breathing fast and scared. Every one of them reaches into the deep and slides the wall shallower, closer, up to where you thought you were safe. There is a cure. It's almost insultingly simple. Go up. 5 meters, sometimes less. And the nitrogen thins and the mind comes back like a light switched on. But read that again. To save yourself, you have to decide to rise. And the decision to rise lives in the exact part of the brain the nitrogen has already put to sleep. The cure sits behind the one door the disease locks first. So here's the question to sit with tonight. Fargues was the strongest of them, and it still talked him out of breathing. If it leaned close and told you in that warm and reasonable voice that you were fine and you could stop now, how certain are you that you'd know it was lying? Beneath doesn't end at the surface. Subscribe, and we'll take you to the next place the record goes quiet.